replica of the Downpatrick High Cross. It's made of Mourne granite. The original cross stood at the foot of English Street between 900 and 1729. It was erected here in 1897 but suffered badly from weathering. It was placed on loan to Down County Museum by the Dean and Chapter of Down as the centrepiece of a new extension in 2015. So this is just a replica. Down Cathedral. It's the town of Down. Downpatrick, I should say. Got some really very old graves here. If I can step over the wall. See, you can read this. It's Esther, anyway, beloved wife of Thomas Grace of Downpatrick. She was only 28 when she died in 1861. She was a very young lady when she passed. There's other older graves in here. We can't even see the tombstones. Some here, this is erected to the memory of Mary Ann Henry of Down, who departed this life August 1815, aged 8 years. Bless her. So this is a really old part of the graveyard. Erected by John Fitzsimons in loving memory of his wife Margaret, who died 16th of February 1913, and their son John, who died 5th of December 1924. Let's see if we can read any of these older ones. These ones here are very old. I apologise now, I'm kind of John Denvere of Downpatrick, who departed this life August the 9th, 1808, aged 30 years. Here lieth the body of the Denvere wife to John Divine of Downpatrick, who departed this life on the 26th of August, the year of the Lord, 1812, aged 40 something, 41 I think. There's another old one over here. I mean, everywhere that you're standing here, there's a gravestone. So here lieth the body of Richard Richard Carr of Downpatrick, who departed this life 17th of March 1815, aged 56 years. Also his daughter L. Carr, who departed this life 22nd of February 1821, aged 7 years. The wife Elizabeth Carr, it's too faded to read, the 24th of something. Somebody else died 1872, so the family are there, but it's very hard to read. Here lies the body of Catherine Munce, wife to John Munce of Ballynagle, who departed this life September the 12th, 1811, aged 70 years, and also all 4 of her children. Bless them. So there's an old grave here with the surrounding, but there's no way you could read. The stones are completely faded away. And we're just here at the side of the cathedral now, still overlooking the town of Downpatrick. Very peaceful. This is Thomas Milligan of Downpatrick, in memory of his father and mother, James and Margaret Milligan, and the uncle of James. I can't even make out the rest of it, to be fair. 1886, no, 1836, I beg your pardon, 1836, aged 28 years. And it's so faded beyond that. I mean, this one is just completely illegible. This one's just about William McCoubrey, memory of his beloved son William James, who died 8th of May 1883, aged 14 years. Also his parents and friends, Herbert McCoubrey, who died 30th of April 1890, aged 2 years. The above name named William McCourtney died 14th of October 1918, aged 70 years. Also his great-grandson Robert James died 2nd of December 1947, aged 29. This is Samuel McCoubrey. Oh, it's McCoubrey, not McCoubrey, McCoubrey. In memory of his father, John McCoubrey, who died August 21st, 1887, aged 56 years. So we're on top of the hill here, so I'm doing a bit of climbing at the same time. Let's see. Now this is very unusual, this kind of a thing. It wouldn't be seen now in southern Ireland, in the Republic I should say, but let's see. Erected by James McCoubrey to the memory of his uncle Thomas Hughes, who died 1858, aged 58 years. And we have a pussycat here by the grave. Oh, is that St. Patrick's grave? See the pussycat came out to visit us today. Hello, puss. We just have other graves here. Fanny Pinion died 12th of August 1887, aged 58. Her daughter Ellen, the beloved wife of John W. Bassett, died 19th June 1901, aged 45 years. And her son William Robert Pinion, who died 19th June 1906. Exactly 5 years to the day. He was only 49. Her grandchildren, John W. Bassett, died 28th of December 1894, aged 5 years, and Francis Bassett died 25th of March 1962, aged 70 years. Hello, puss puss. Hello, pussycat. Who's buried here? Hey. Hello, puss. You're a very friendly pussycat, aren't you? Come on and show me St. Patrick's grave. Right here at the side of the cathedral, we have the grave of St. Patrick. So around the back of the church, you've got, this is a new cross. This one was put here in 2018. And I'll take a still picture of this and I'll put it here in the video. Got the new part of the graveyard at this side, and this is kind of at the back of the cathedral, which is a lot of what you'll see when you look it up online. You'll see the back of the cathedral. That's my car, and if you're at the back of the cathedral and you just walk over to the right hand side here, and I'll do this in real time so that you know that if you suffer with any back injuries like I do, that it's not a far walk, which is great. So this is the sign, Down Cathedral and St Patrick's Grave. After coming to Ireland in 432 AD, St Patrick travelled extensively, passing on the message of Christianity. In the period following his death, the Hill of Down came to be regarded as his traditional burial place. The Hill of Down has been a place of pilgrimage for many centuries for people all over the world. There have been a number of churches and monasteries on this site. The present building, this one here behind us, dates from 1183, when Benedictine monks founded a monastery here. Following the dissolution of the monastery in 1538, the building gradually fell into decay. In the 18th century, the building was restored in its present style. At the beginning of the 20th century, a granite stone bearing the name Patrick was placed here as a symbolic marker of the saint's final resting place. And that was the one that we saw around the front. So, this is the church. In some form here since the 12th century, and this large memorial stone that we're going to see of granite, and the pussycat is watching us, was placed here in the year 1900 to mark the traditional burial place of St Patrick. The stone was quarried at Slieve na Largy near Castlewellan, and it took 12 men 14 days to cut it from the quarry. Hello puss! Hello pussycat! It's just like my cat at home. There's a grave of Captain Ward. Died the 25th day of April 1835. I don't know if you can see that. Some of these older headstones are just, you can't read. They're obviously the weather. I can't necessarily read that one that well either. Michael Hall, and it says March, and the rest of it is gone, unfortunately. I'm guessing the early to mid 19th century, and we've got some older ones here. So if you were just to go up the stones, up the steps here, obviously it's telling you that St Patrick's grave is here. It's Mary Finnegan from 1902. There's a grave in there, and you can't rightly read. The lettering is all worn off. Maxwell Hutton, but no other. They have the original headstone there, but it's illegible. Some of these older graves are completely overgrown. But we are just going this way, and we're literally beside the cathedral. And there's some older graves here. And if you can see down the hill, just in case you forget you're in the modern world, there's Costa Coffee. For those coffee lovers. I'm not a coffee drinker, but there you go. It's there for those who want it. The grave's from 1826. So this is the older part of the cemetery, definitely. And just here in front of us, this is the stone that we read about that was cut in 1900 to mark the grave of St Patrick. And the interesting thing about this grave is that, I don't know, can you make out that it actually says the name of Patrick? It's kind of cut into the stone here, P-A-T-R-I, and obviously we have some weather damage there. We've got a Celtic cross there, and because the date that we're visiting here today is the 4th of February of 2023, so obviously St Brigid's Day was the 1st of February. It's the 1st of February every year, but this year 2023, it's the first year that we as Irish people have a public holiday to commemorate St Bridget. And that is the interesting thing about this grave. Although it's lauded as St Patrick's grave, which it in fact is, it also contains the remains of St Brigid of Ireland and also St Colmcille, sometimes called St Columba. In Ireland we would call him St Colmcille more frequently. And these little crosses here made of reed have been placed here to commemorate the fact that this weekend is indeed for St Brigid, who is also buried here under this stone. So we have here St Patrick was born in Britain. At 16 he was captured and taken to Ireland, where he was sold into slavery. He escaped to France, but one night in a dream he heard the voice of the Irish calling him back. How Patrick answered that call and brought Christianity to Ireland is one of the most splendid chapters in our history. According to tradition, the remains of St Patrick, with those of St Brigid and St Columba, who we would know as St Colmcille, who is also known as Colmcille, were reinterred on this site by John de Courcy in the 12th century, thus fulfilling the prophecy that the three saints would be buried in the same place. Down District Council, Recreation and Tourist Department, September 1985. And so even though the three saints are buried here, they died at different times. St Patrick, there is no confirmed date for him because, as I say, he was taken as a boy. We were always taught that he was Welsh, but it seems to be disputed exactly where in the UK he came from. But he was indeed taken, and he would have passed away sometime, I guess, in the 5th century. St Brigid, she passed in 525, I believe. She was at 74, I think. And then St Colmcille passed in 597, and he was also in his 70s when he passed. So all of these people are here more than 1500 years. Well, they were past more than 1500 years, but buried together. I think, well, it says they were brought here in the 12th century. Yeah, it says here on the thing. So they are here buried together since the 12th century, and obviously this was done up again by Loughlin and Patrick Brennan of Stream Street, Downpatrick. Downpatrick is the name of the town that we're in here, and you can see literally that our saints are buried in the shadow of the cathedral here. And this is in fact a Church of Ireland cathedral, even though St Patrick and St Brigid and St Colmcille would be revered saints in the Roman Catholic religion. I don't know about the Church of Ireland. There aren't much differences between us. We worship the same God, so I don't imagine that there is any difference, because it was Christianity that was taught by these wonderful saints, and we have them to thank for it today. And we also have the little pussycat who has been following me around the graveyard here today. So this is the burial site once again of St Patrick, feast day of March 17th, which we know worldwide we celebrate, and St Brigid. We have our feast day on the 1st of February every year, and we now, as of 2023, we have a public holiday on the nearest Monday to celebrate her feast day, which this year is falling on the 6th of February 2023, and that's why we came to visit her, to commemorate her and to thank her for everything that she has done for our country and for our religion. And there you go. So from down, which beautiful views of, I believe, the Mourne Mountains, right across over the town. And there's some beautiful trees here, just to give you a 360 of where we are. So just here to the side of St Patrick's grave we have some quite old graves, some that we can actually read maybe. Here lies the body of, I can't even make that out, Patrick Somebody, 11th July 1805, age 36 years. So quite an old one. And this one then says that this stone was erected by Pat Smith of Church Wall, July the 18th, 1808. So that grave is more than 200 years old. And he's right beside St Patrick, St Brigid and St Columcille. This must have been brought in from outside, but anyway, here ye enter the body of, honestly I can't read that, Edward something, Baron of, I can't read that, December 24th, September 1607. Also the body of the Honourable Oliver Cromwell, son to the Honourable maybe Earl of Ardglass and grandson to Edward the 19th of, I'm not sure what that's supposed to say, it says OC, I'm not sure what month that's supposed to be, October maybe, 1668. So this headstone, it was brought in from outside, and we've got some of the original stonework of, these are fragments of St Patrick's Cross. This is what is left of the original St Patrick's Cross from the late 8th or early 9th century, not long after the monastery was founded here. So these are what's left. And this stone says, I was a stranger and you welcomed me. Look how beautiful this church is. Wow. Hugh Wallace, solicitor. He died May the 4th, and I'm no good at Roman numerals. It's MDCCCLV, aged LXVIII years. Is that 68 years? I'm not sure. The upper portion of this window was erected by the Right Honourable Henry Baron Dunleith in memory of his father. The 5 lower lights of this window were erected by Frank Wallace and Robert A.U. Wallace in memory of their father, William N. Wallace, D.L., born August 9th, 1818, died January 14th, 1895. There's some beautiful old artefacts here. And this church is just amazing. kind of skirting around the altar here. To the glory of God and in memory of Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Valentine, Plaisted, McCannon, 5th Battalion Royal Irish Rifles, the Royal South Downs, who died on 28th of April 1917 of wounds received in action at Munce. This tablet is erected by his brother officers, past and present, of the Royal South Downs, as a token of their love and esteem for a gallant soldier and staunch friend. There's lots of inscriptions on the wall. The walls around here. Oh, it's the same as the one over the 5 upper lights of this window were erected by Colonel the Right Honourable W.B. Ford, PCC Ford, in loving memory of Spencer Percival, died May the 11th, 1872. And Elizabeth, his wife, died January 28, 1894, by their daughter. In memory of John Waring Maxwell, MP for Downpatrick, 1820 to 1830, born February 23rd, 1789, died December 22nd, 1869, by Major Robert Percival Maxwell. In memory of Rev Samuel Maxwell, West, formerly minor canon of this cathedral, by the Reverend S.S. Frackleton. And in memory of his father and mother, John and Eliza Hastings, by Rev Samuel Hastings. And now all the seating here is beautiful, but very unusual. It wouldn't be what we would be used to. But there seems to be all little boxes where people can sit for the service. And it's beautiful. And got lots of coats of arms, and as you can see, there's lots of plaques and inscriptions around because it's quite old here. You have what I guess is the bishop's seat, and all the coats of arms around, and the organ, and the way out. It's really an amazing church to get married in, wouldn't it? Walk up the aisle. And that is Down Cathedral.